Okay guys, so what we're doing today is I'm going to be pulling the throttle body off and inspecting and most likely replacing the lower throttle body gasket. So basically what I need to do to get to it is remove the air hat and put that in my mag bowl. Just pull that out there. Inspect my air filter. Everything still looks good on this. No oil. And I'm just going to put it over to the side. Kind of away from everything. Looks like it's just these 4 bolts right here. Then everything appears to just come out. What I'm going to have to do is start disconnecting everything. Taking care to not fuck anything up. Now we're moving on to the bolts. Just kind of breaking them free. Okay, so this thing's turning out to be more of a pain in the ass than I originally thought. It looks like it splits in half, and it might not even appear that I have the right gasket for this. I have to remove the engine cooling hoses. In order to stop them up from leaking, I'm just putting bolts in them. Stop that from happening. Now I gotta get the bottom one. Remember with the throttle cable, it's only this little piece right here that comes up and slides in. So I don't even have to worry about that part. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and put the nut and washer back onto that. Okay, and so now, because I know this thing's probably going to leak a lot, brought my bucket over here. Just going to undo these bolts again. And now everything should come off freely. Just have one more vacuum line to undo. Go ahead and do that first. Alright, so now let's see what happens. Easy enough, guys. Look at that. One throttle body. Now I'm going to pour all the fuel and antifreeze into here. Ooh, that looks nasty. The fuck? That's a plastic gasket. Here's the throttle body. There's the butterfly valve. And the weirdest thing the gaskets that goes onto here is right there on top of the intake manifold. And it's a plastic gasket. At least that's what it looks like. And with the use of a razor blade, it's coming off rather nicely. That's always good. And as soon as I get this off and out, I'm going to take you guys off of the tripod and show you a couple things. Wow. Look at that. Looks to be part metal right here, but that ends. That's just a sheet of metal. And it looks like there's a ring that goes around here, and the rest of this is plastic. I've never seen anything like this before. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I thought it was actually going to be a hell of a lot more dirty than this, but it's not. I mean, that's pretty clean. But the weirder thing is, that gasket's not fucked up. I just don't see why that one would be giving me any problems with the idle issue. And that leaves me to one other thing. Could be the 1 1/2 of the throttle body. It's worth a shot. So let's get onto that. I'm going to move that onto the bench over there, and I'll be back in a minute. So what I'm going to be looking at here is there's one screw that comes out, 2 screws. Let's go ahead and get this undone. This gasket looks fine. Looks just fine. Let's set that over here. Now what this thing could use is a good cleaning, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. As you can see, the 2 sides of the butterfly valve are kind of gummed up. So I've got a couple cans of carb cleaner, and I'm going to go ahead and give this thing a good old-fashioned rinse down, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, so it's another day. I managed to find the right gasket. This is part number 61095. This other one here goes underneath the fuel heater, which is the black thing that's right here. But this gasket is the right one. And the trick to do this is I'm leaking fuel all over me. Is to go ahead and put your bolts back in so you can better have it line up. I'll flip my viewfinder around here, and I'm just putting the bolts back in. I don't think it really matters if they're in order or not, but they are. So now what I can do is make sure all my parts are here. These 2 screws go into that bracket. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cinch this down like so. Actually, I can just kind of screw these in to start them. not going to tighten these down too tight. I'm just going to kind of make sure they're snug. So there you have it. Now what I can do is hook up the throttle cable again. Let's go ahead and do that and get that out of the way for now. Okay, come on. Okay, throttle cable's back in. But you should be able to see well enough. I'm going to go ahead and cinch these down. This hose clamp is kind of fucked up. Now that the hose clamp's on, I can now push this all the way forward and then reconnect our hose clamp. There's that one. Onto the other. As I said, fuel is going to be leaking. Go ahead and slide that on all the way up. That fuel line's on, so now I just do the same thing. Get my other hose clamp here on. So, onto the antifreeze lines back here. I'm going to go ahead and connect the other one too. That was antifreeze that I just splashed out. That one's on. So, these aren't going to be moving anywhere. Now I have to reconnect the vacuum lines. That one was easy, it goes right here. This one goes down here. And this one is the one with that pain in the ass clamp on the end of it. Rotate the viewfinder. It's right back here. That hose clamp I've got to move all the way up. I don't know if the that other smaller vacuum line is supposed to have one or not. And it's on. I think. socket. So now all the main lines are on. I can now start reconnecting the electrical. Everything else in the mag bowl is either not needed or goes on in the later part in the game here. So I'm just going to throw all the not needed stuff. The rest of this stuff's just for the air hat, as you can probably see. Get that out of the way. And now I can start reconnecting all my lines, make sure they're clean, if any debris. This one looks good, that goes to the throttle position sensor. Connect him back up. The one that goes to this looks clean, connected. That probably goes in here. And let's see what else we got here. Right over here. All right. Okay, so I checked and double checked all the connections. This is going to the right place. I hate doing that, guys. Hooking up something to the wrong place where you think it's supposed to go. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and reconnect the air hat. Grab my 2 bolts and my wing nut. Get this back in and on. Taking careful mind to make sure it's connected. It's looking good. Now I gotta reconnect the battery. Now I'm just going to check it for leaks. Everything seems to be looking good. I'm going to go ahead and rev it up a little bit. Okay guys, so I'm noticing that it's still kind of doing it, though it's not doing it as bad. I don't know what that means, but I noticed another problem here, and as soon as this light turns green, while I was in the garage messing around with the clutch with the car on, I noticed that when I pushed the clutch in, it wouldn't make a noise. But when I took my foot off the clutch, it started making a noise like bearings are going out. If any of you know what that sounds like, and I'm pretty sure it's my throwout bearing. Now, the clutch in this thing is still good. I haven't experienced any slippage at all. So that's going to be another thing I'm going to have to look into. As far as the idle issue goes, there's nobody behind me, so I guess I can kind of show you guys a little bit better than before. But it's still kind of doing it, though it's not as much, and it's kind of weird. I don't really know what else it could be. I mean, I've tried just about everything else I can think of aside from that idle speed control. So I honestly don't know as far as why it's still doing it. It could be something very simple, but it could also be something that's not simple. It could be a whole bunch of things that's causing it. Just the fact that this is a almost 20-year-old car, I believe 20. No, not 20. It's more so about 17. But anyways, you guys can't really hear the bearings, as I can even barely hear them. The only reason I was able to hear that was because I was in the garage in a confined space, and there's walls for the sound waves to bounce off of. Out here on the open road, I can't really hear anything. As you can see, when I'm just normal driving, it doesn't do that idle issue at all. So, I mean, clearly it's just an idle RPM issue, if that makes any sense. But I'm kind of at a loss to what it is. It might just be something, like I said, that I'm going to have to live with as long as I've got this car. But, oh well. I tried as much as I could to figure out what it was, but it doesn't look like I really came to much of an avail of it. love in a veil. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn around here, get back to the house and edit this video, and hopefully those of you guys who like these type of videos enjoy this one. So until next time, guys, stay close.